Hey, my creative friends. It is time to talk creativity today, and to, talk about creativity. I've been thinking about this topic. I actually had it lined out before. Anyways, and it was on my list because somebody had mentioned something about how hard this is to do. And so I wanted to think about it for a while. So hi Trisha. Today we're going to talk about asking for help. But to start off with, I wanted to say there's a difference between asking for help and accepting help. So the other day I had a friend over, we were doing some stuff, and we talked way too long about what we were talking about, and she had another thing to get to help Halloween decorate. And so she was rushed, and she had to go to the store, and she hadn't, been able to feed her child. So, I just said, hey, do you want me to make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or make Lucy a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And I could see she was wanting to say no, but she said yes, which yay for her. And then Trisha says, I am in Cincinnati with Coy and Marnay. We will see her play. Oh, Marnay is a little creative herself. She does makeup. If I'm not mistaken, she does makeup in theater, theater makeup for actors and actresses when they do their stage plays. And I've seen little pictures of her doing it and little videos of her doing it. And I think she really enjoys it quite a bit. So tell her good luck on her part of the presentation, and wigs too. Trisha said that she does wigs too. Cool. I've seen it. Yeah, some of the things she's done. I think it's fun. So anyways, I asked her if she wanted to. I asked her for Lucy to see if she needed a sandwich. She said yes. But I know she kind of just felt like uncomfortable a little bit. And then on my way in, I said, do you want me to make you a sandwich? She said no. And then she called back and said, yeah, go ahead and make me one. Which, good for her, to accept help. Because that's a problem too. But I wanted to make that distinction about asking for help and accepting help. So a lot of times, just for the one tip for accepting help is that, sometimes we just automatically say no. So next time somebody says, would you like, or can I help you with, just close your mouth, don't say anything for 3 seconds and just breathe. And just let your mind sit there for a minute to be able to accept the help and to see if you really want the help and if you need the help. Because sometimes we don't need it. There's a gal, I walk Joseph to school, and it's 1.5 miles. And then, or we walk together, and then I drop him off, or sometimes we take the train, but I then walk home 1.5 miles. And so there's a gal there that I know, and she will often ask me, do you want to ride home? And so I said no the first couple of times, and I thought, well, I really should explain why. I said, I just really want to walk while the weather's good. And there was one time where I accepted the help, so she knew it wasn't just, I didn't want to be around her, or where I was avoiding her. And I said, so I explained to her, I said, no, not right now. I said, I may when the weather's colder, so explaining and talking to people, because really the helping and this reciprocal back and forth, it's a natural part of relationships. To help and to give help is a natural way we interact with each other. And so we have to remember that it's a relationship. These are relationships. It's not about necessarily, and this is the thing that happens, is that when you think you have to ask for help, a lot of us will get all these feelings involved in it. It just starts dumping these feelings about being uncomfortable and embarrassed or vulnerable, or you feel greedy, or you feel like you've gotten in over your head, and so you're not capable, or somebody's taken advantage of you previously, and so you have that feeling. There's just a lot of feelings that seem to bubble up when we have this interaction of asking for help. So That's what we're mainly going to talk about, though. I wanted to just kind of throw that out about accepting help. So asking for help, it's that whole emotional thing, and sometimes we transfer feelings, sometimes we mirror feeling. I mean, it's very uncomfortable. So it's a really great topic to talk about, and I think also to talk about it with creativity, because at some point you're going to need help. I mean, at some point we all need help. And when we start to get into creative projects and those kinds of things, then projects often end up way bigger than what we can handle. So some things about the whole asking for help. One of the things I think beforehand, even before you have your need, is to ask, just a second, oh, lights bothering me. Sorry, getting a little distracted. Okay, if you've heard about the emotional bank account from Stephen Covey, he talks about, in relationships we have a give and take. We have, where I give, I'm making a deposit emotionally. If I take, I'm having a withdrawal emotionally. So just think of it as where service, asking for help, bank accounts. So for me, when it comes to my turn to need help, if I feel like I've given a lot of help previously, then it just feels like it's my turn. It doesn't feel like I'm asking in a way that hasn't been reciprocated at some point. So, and really and when you ask for help, you don't have to reciprocate the help to the person that gave you the help. You just have to pay it forward to somebody. And so when it's your turn to ask for help, it's my turn. And really, I think sometimes if we say, oh, I've got to help that person back, it feels like, what came to my mind when I was thinking about that was, I don't know if you guys have seen this little video clip. I think it's Jimmy Fallon and Brad Pitt, and they're in a bar, and one sends a drink over to the one, and then the other one sends a drink back that's bigger, and it kind of gets this escalating back and forth, and that's what you don't want to have happen when you serve somebody or they serve you, to serve them back, because then it feels like a scoreboard. It feels, it starts to feel, it wasn't a relationship interaction. It was a scoreboard, a team, a game. So who's going to be best and who's going to be doing it better. So you don't want that. But serving yourself on numerous occasions, it just feels like it's your turn. So that's kind of even before asking for help. And so to be very service oriented yourself. And I was talking to Jessie, one of my daughters this evening, and I was asking her about it, and it's like, but what if you don't like to serve? And so she came up with 3 tips if you don't like to serve, and I thought they were really good. So first off, she said, serve people you love. And isn't that the truth? We will do things for people we love. And just a second. Okay, I'm really still here. Oh, it was just like in this my side, distracting me. Okay, so serve people you love. Don't overschedule service days. So don't have something that you're so rushed and it's like, oh, I got to finish this service and get to the next thing I need to do. I mean, it's not always possible, but give enough space on either end of the service so you don't feel so compelled to be rushing and having feelings that negatively impact your service. So another thing, if you don't like to serve, is to serve where you enjoy. She told me about her aunt, one of my sisters, who hates to babysit. I'm on that ferry, but she loves to clean, and she loves to do meals and cook for people. So she will say, I will help with food or cleaning, but I will not help with babysitting. So it's kind of like she has her parameters. She knows how she's willing to work and how it's not going to help her to serve. So those are 3 things that if you don't like service that are really good tips for service. But if we are now for the tips for asking for help. There's a thing that psychologists call the illusion of transparency. It's the belief that our thoughts, feelings, and needs are just obvious to people. It's just people should be able to see what I need. And the whole idea with asking for help is that you have to actually verbalize it. You have to actually say things. You have to use the words and say things. You can't assume that people know what you need or understand what you need. And nobody's standing around waiting for you to ask them. Sometimes we think magically, oh, if I just say it enough in our conversation, somebody's going to respond. And that's not the case either. Oh, Wade is watching. Deb is watching. Sometimes my phone doesn't scroll. Hi, Deb and Wade. So back to people aren't just magically going to offer. And even if they offer, they might not offer the thing that you need. So you have to ask. You have to, people aren't mind readers. There's not, and even if they were, no, they're not mind readers. Okay, so one thing you need to do is that you have to be specific. And I remember somebody when I lived in Provo asked me to do something on a city level. And it was just, it was a time commitment. It was a big time commitment. But she asked in a way that put an end date to it. She said, would you do this? And it entails this. And it will be over on this date. And I thought, oh, there's an exit strategy for me. It's not like it's going to go on forever. It's not like I don't know what she wants. I mean, she was very specific about what she wanted. So when you ask somebody, be specific. Tell them exactly what you need, when you need it, how you need it, what they need to bring, what they don't need to bring, what you're gonna do, what the plan is. You be specific about the whole thing. The second tip is to ask one-on-one. You don't ask over text. You ask one-on-one. And they actually do have a study that research has been done on this, that you are 30 times more likely to get a yes if you do it in person. And plus, if you don't do it in person over text, it's easier for the other person to say no too. So you get 30 times more probable that you will get a yes if you ask in person. But I liked this idea, not just asking in person, but to ask in person, to add that why you want this person. Why specifically is this person helpful? Are they good at something that you can really see that it would benefit? Or you just like their company, I have, there's something I need to do and I need some help. I would love to be able to have you help me because I like to be with you. I mean, when you start to be more open and honest and not be so restricted because you feel restricted in asking, you feel these feelings that you don't want to ask, so you close down instead of opening it up and having the ask be open. I want to, I asked so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so to come over and help clean my house and windows because I have family coming over. And I just thought it would be fun to have you come along. I mean, doesn't that sound more fun? I mean, dare I say that we can have an ask that's fun or do service for each other that's fun? So be specific, ask one-on-one, and don't do disclaimers. Don't apologize. Don't do the apologizing. Ask, oh, I really hate, I know you don't have to, you don't want to, or I know you don't have time, or, this whole apology tour before the ask. Don't do that. Don't, it's like I said, it's a natural part. I will help you anytime you can, but I need the help now, and so I'm asking. So don't do the whole apology tour before the ask. And then the last tip is to thank them afterwards. I was reading something about how, and I've done this too, because I taught early morning seminary for a year, and then kids will ask me to write things, and plus I worked with youth in the youth programs, and so they will ask me to write reference letters, and so I do every time. And this one gal does numerous recommendation letters, and but she never hears back from people. And I don't, and that's part of the thanking, is that you can say, hey, I got that job. Hey, I got in that program. Hey, this, and even if they're helping, like the example of clean the house. Hey, that was so nice not have to worry about my dirty house when my family came or whoever came. And, it was just added to, it made my house look great. They thought it looked great, or whatever. The idea is to be, the whole thing about asking is to open up, to not close down, because it's a naturally, like I talked about before, all those feelings involved. So don't close down, open up, look at it from the perspective is this is a natural part of relationships. Everybody needs help and everybody helps. And that's just what we do for each other, because we care about each other, because we want to have those interactions. We want to be there for people. I've noticed when kids, little tiny kids, they just like to help. And a lot of times we're like, oh, I don't need that kind of help. And instead of nurturing and letting them, because it is a natural part of what we do. So that's the tip today, is to ask for help, accept help, have all the help needs met, and to have that, release that, be open about the ask. So that is the tip, and write down your thoughts, because I can't see any scrolling if there's anything, but any other suggestions for being able to ask and to have it be a different experience and to be able to do it better. And that's it for tonight. So, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. And Wade, if you I remember there's questions I was asking you. Ask your work friends about questions, and if you have any questions, things you want to talk about, let me know, and we will add that to the list. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.